Hey guys, Ms. LaPierre here. I read this book at the beginning of the year, but I thought I would read it remotely to you guys once again. It's Because by Mo Willems, and the music in the background is the music that is featured in the book. It is by Franz Schubert, and it is his Unfinished Symphony, Symphony Number 8. Because a man named Ludwig wrote beautiful music, a man named Franz was inspired to create his own. Because many years later, people wanted to hear Franz's beautiful music, they formed an orchestra. Because a man had practiced since he was a kid, he was asked to join. Because a woman studied night and day, she too was asked to play. Because many others loved and practiced their instruments, there were enough musicians. So we have a bassoon here, cello, a French horn, a flute. These drums are called timpani. Because someone created a poster about Franz's music, tickets were sold. Because the train conductor stopped the train at the Grand Concert Hall, the orchestra conductor arrived. Because the orchestra librarian had copies of the score, the orchestra rehearsed. Because workers checked the lights in the seats and swept the floors, the grand hall was ready. Because the time had come, the ushers opened the doors. Someone's uncle caught a cold. Someone's aunt found an extra ticket for someone special. Because the usher helped the aunt and her special guest, they found their seats. Because everyone was there to hear beautiful music, it was quiet. In row C, seat 14, sat the girl with her uncle's ticket. She heard the beautiful music written by the man named Franz, and it changed her. From that moment on, the girl learned everything she could about music. There she is conducting her stuffies and her toys because it fed her. Soon, she started to write music too because, like Franz, the young woman had something to share. Over time, the woman became very good because she worked very hard. One night, her music was discovered because she was also very lucky. Then she was invited to perform her music at the Grand Concert Hall because so many people wanted to hear it. Her composition was dedicated to the uncle in row C, seat 14, because it was his ticket that brought her there. I should point that. The uncle who had caught cold and was sick before, now he's feeling better so he can go back to concerts. That night, someone else was changed. That is how it happens. Guys, Ms. LaPierre here. I thought I would take this remote learning opportunity to talk to you guys about different instrument families. Their instruments are put in different families by how they make noise. So we've got the woodwind family, we've got the brass family, we've got percussion, we've got strings, and then the instrument behind me, piano, goes into sometimes people put it in the percussion family, sometimes people put it in the string family, sometimes people say, hey, it's its own family, it's the keyboard family. But today I wanted to talk to you guys about the woodwind family. The woodwinds, they include instruments like the flute, the clarinet, the saxophone, bassoon, oboe, recorder. A woodwind instrument is any instrument that makes a sound by blowing across an edge. So on something like a clarinet, that edge might be a reed. And if you've got an oboe or a bassoon, I don't have one, so I can't show you. An oboe or a bassoon, they actually have two pieces of reed put together, and the reeds vibrate against each other. So clarinet has a reed. Saxophone has a reed, and it's kind of funny because this instrument doesn't look like it belongs in this family, but it does. This is a flute, and a flute does not have a reed, but it makes sound by blowing across, by air going right across this edge right here. So if you were to play the flute, you would put the head joint right on your lip, and then you would put your fingers on the keys. And with all of the wood, with any instrument, the longer the tube or the string or whatever is making noise, the bar on a xylophone, whatever, the longer that tube is, the lower the note. So if you wanted to play a low note on the flute, you would have to close as many keys as you can. There's a couple of keys that just stay closed anyway, but reach down the foot joint here. This one stays closed. This is as low as it can go because this is how long the tube is. It works like that on every single instrument. So anyway, this is what a flute sounds like. Happens to be the instrument that I started on in 4th grade band, so I played that once, and then a kid asked, yes, but does it play hot cross buns? It does. It does. It plays hot cross buns, guys. Usually my go-to for every instrument is, does it play Star Wars? It does, guys. So anyway, there's the flute. We also have this because the flute, the clarinet, the saxophone are the woodwinds that are in 4th grade band. And when I came home from school, I said, well, I should bring all those band instruments because who knows? Anyway, here's the clarinet. And like I said before, it has a single reed on it. So it's just one piece of cane. And it attaches to this mouthpiece with a ligature. And if you just blow on the reed all by itself, it does not do anything. Blow on the clarinet all by itself, it does not do anything. Because these two pieces need to work together, to vibrate together to make the tube vibrate. So, get that lined up. It's lined up kind of like that. It's maybe a little high. Just that. All right. clarinet's kind of cool because it can play super low, but it can also play really high. Can play even higher than that, but my children are upstairs sleeping, so I don't want to do that. Anyway, Star Wars for clarinet. And the last woodwind instrument that I happen to bring home with me is an alto saxophone. Like the clarinet, alto saxophone has a reed. They are not the same reeds though, because the saxophone is a bigger instrument. So this is a bigger reed than the clarinet. In fact, I can pull that off for you so you can see. There we go. Here's the clarinet reed, and here's the saxophone reed. So I can't do this in music class. I can't come up to you guys in the face with a reed. So here we go. Clarinet, saxophone. You can see that they have different sizes. You might see me put the reed in my mouth before I go to play an instrument. The reed needs to be wet. So usually I put the reed in my mouth, assemble the instrument, and then put the reed on. The instrument does not work as well if the reed's dried out. It really does not work as well if the reed is like missing pieces of wood too, but that's something to learn about in 4th grade band for sure. Okay. Putting the reed right on the saxophone. This instrument's pretty heavy, so it gets a neck strap. And the neck strap helps hold the instrument, but it's always a good idea to keep at least one hand on your instrument. All right. And because I really don't want to push it with my sleeping children upstairs, Star Wars real quick on the saxophone. So there we go. There's the woodwinds for you. Bye friends, until I see you again, keep singing, stay safe, stay healthy.